Blessed love and blessed day, oh boxing world, boxing nation, fighting world, fighting nation. It's Coach Fight and this is real life boxing. Eddie Hearn and Oscar De La Hoya go at it. I mean, go at it over Oscar De La Hoya's opinion about the Canelo Alvarez Dimitri Bivol fight. Hey, before we get into it, I'm gonna ask you guys to smash on that like button, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon so you can be notified when new content is being uploaded on the channel of Real Life Boxing. Give me that best double jab and straight down the pipe, please. Now let's get into it. As we know, Canelo Alvarez, who is Eddie Hearn's fighter, was defeated by Dimitri Bivol last Saturday for his WBO super heavyweight, super light heavyweight. I'm sorry, for the WBO light heavyweight title, which was held by Dimitri Bivol. He defeated Canelo Alvarez in a unanimous decision. And when Oscar De La Hoya was asked about what his opinions of the fight was after the fight, Oscar De La Hoya's answer was that Eddie Hearn should have never allowed Canelo Alvarez to fight Dimitri Bivol in the first place. Pretty much telling Eddie Hearn that Canelo Alvarez should have been a duck goose, should have been nowhere to be found against Dimitri Bivol. Let us find out that Oscar De La Hoya got his fighters ducking fighters. All that Ryan Garcia keep calling out people and not fighting them. But we're going to save that for another video because that's a different topic for a different day. That video might come right after this video. But I was just thinking about that. Eddie Hearn pretty much told Oscar De La Hoya, Oscar De La Hoya pretty much told Eddie Hearn that Canelo Alvarez should have ducked Dimitri Bivol, that he pretty much had no business in there with Dimitri Bivol in the first place. It was terrible matchmaking by Eddie Hearn and so forth and so forth. Now, this was pretty much days, if not the day after the Canelo fight, maybe 2 days after, but it was pretty much like right after the fight, you know what I mean? So Eddie Hearn just did this interview on the boxing scene today, which is Thursday, 5-6 days after the fight. Did an interview on boxing scene, and he hasn't said anything about what Oscar De La Hoya said up to this point. But when asked about it on the boxing scene, Eddie Hearn said that Oscar De La Hoya has no idea what he's talking about. He is not in charge of Canelo Alvarez's career. He does not make Canelo Alvarez's decisions as far as his fight goes. He says Canelo Alvarez and Eddie Reynoso strictly make those decisions. He presents them the options and they make the decisions. He said it was not him who told Canelo Alvarez not to take the offer from PBC of whatever PBC was offering him, a fight with Jamal Charlo, and a fight with David Benavidez. I don't even know what PBC was offering him, but whatever PBC was offering him, Eddie Hearn said it is not my fault that that Canelo Alvarez did not sign with PBC. Like, that's not my fault. I present him with the options, and him and his trainer Eddie Reynoso come up with a educated decision on who they should pick. You know what I'm saying? With a team decision on who they should fight. He said he has nothing to do with who Canelo Alvarez chooses to fight. He presents him with the fights, presents him with the options that he can, and Canelo Alvarez and his team goes from there. And Eddie said this is a direct reason of why kids should stay off of drugs and why you should not go on drugs, while Oscar should stay off the drugs. Now, we ain't trying to jump on Oscar, but we know Oscar do his thing. You know what I'm saying? We know Oscar do his thing. Oscar's forever coming on. He was on that one of those broadcasts. Was it with Mike Tyson's joint? What's it called? I can't even think about the name of that shit right now, but he was on that Mike Tyson card and he was drunk. You could clearly see that he was drunk. And he still be getting on his lives on his Instagram all lit and shit with his girl. So you could tell he indulges in his thing, whether it's alcohol, you know what I mean, whether he's still, you know, doing that white, you know what I mean, we don't know, but Eddie Hearn said Oscar just needs to stay off the drugs. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, we ain't picking on Oscar because this stuff is out there. This stuff is out there that Oscar already, you know what I mean? He loves the party. And Oscar Now, don't get it twisted. Oscar De La Hoya was a great fighter, and he was actually, I forget about this shit sometimes. Oscar was like one of my favorite fighters when he was fighting. Still to this day, like I can't discredit his skill set. I love the way he fought. His left hook. I just love the way he fought. You know what I'm saying? In that era, he was one of the best fighters of his time. Had a hair trigger left hook. Was a very, very, very good fighter. Oscar would be in that Philly shell too. But you know, these are different times. He's retired as a boxer. He's a manager, a promoter, runs his own company, does his thing, and he gets lit. You know what I mean? So Eddie Hearn said, Oscar, man, this is a direct testimonial why you don't need to go on drugs, man. Oscar, stay off the drugs and stay out my business. I don't make Canelo Alvarez's. I don't make his decisions. You know what I'm saying? You guys can look up the interview with Eddie Hearn. Maybe I'll put it underneath this video if I could get to it. You guys can look up the interview with Oscar De La Hoya. Shit just mad funny. I would love to see an exhibition fight between Oscar De La Hoya and Eddie Hearn. And y'all know I don't really like talking about this stuff. I like to talk boxing, but this stuff directly affects boxing. When the promoter is telling another promoter that his fighter should have ducked another fighter, then you already know that promoter fighters are ducking fighters. And it don't even be the fighters, it be the promoters. And that's what I've been trying to say this whole time. It be the promoters that don't want the fighters to take the fight, so they don't even get into trying to get them to fight. You know what I'm saying? Or they get in there, they start talking business and, you know, take some type of whack offer or make some type of whack offer. They don't really fight for what the fighter really wants because they know they don't really want the fight. You know what I mean? But we ain't gonna get too deep into that. Y'all tell me what y'all think about Oscar De La Hoya and Eddie Hearn going at it. I would love to see a celebrity matchup between them two. Oscar was a great fighter, and Eddie could box now. Eddie be up on his toes. But y'all tell me what y'all think about it in the comment section below. Until then, keep fighting your fight and protect yourself at all times, man. This Coach Fight. This is Real Life Boxing. Peace and one love.